Hi, seventh grade. Today we're going to add a couple slides to our presentation, and you are going to make sure that you edit your complete slideshow that you have so far. I think this is part 4. And when you attach, you need to attach the updated whole slideshow to the post and hit submit, and that way I can check everything and return it to you and give you some feedback. I've been trying to give feedback so that you can learn and have fun and be successful. So today for my mud skipper, I'm going to show you the new table of contents update. We're really just adding 2 slides today. So today's video is going to be short. And I want you to spend most of the time doing research. I want to challenge you to find websites that look reputable. And I'll show you in a minute what happened when I couldn't find some perfect information and how I'm going to handle that. So slide 13 will be just in general, how does your organism reproduce? If you're a plant, that's going to be a different kind of conversation because you might talk about seeds. Plants have sexual reproduction. Many plants, not all plants, many plants produced egg and sperm. And somehow those egg and sperm have to get together. Bacteria, another kind of reproduction. Fungi, another kind of reproduction. So it would be kind of fun for us to learn about our own, and then I'm still brainstorming a way that we can get together in small groups and share our slideshows because that's going to be awesome. Slide 14, mating behavior. I actually found a short video. And so if you're doing a plant, there might not be a behavior, but maybe you can find a video. So I do want you to spend most of your science time today researching, and then you just have to put 2 slides together. So I'm going to scroll down to my 2 slides. You know that I think studying animals and studying organisms and studying how they make more of themselves is awesome. So with cells have to make more of themselves, but whole organisms also have to make more of themselves. And so for the mud skipper, I've selected a couple of pictures that have to do with my description. And my description is pretty shortened because I'm going to actually talk to you a little bit more. So feel free to use smaller font and have paragraphs on your slide because that's how I'm going to know what you've researched. So the first step to mud skipper reproduction is the males build a burrow. So these mud skippers live on mud flats, and in the second picture here you can see that it's sort of this mucky, muddy, flat area that does get tidal influences. So that's intertidal zone, that the water does come in, the water does recede, and it's really moist environment, which is good since my mud skipper is actually classified as a fish. And so this is an interesting fish because it can and does live most of its life on land. The eggs, however, need to be laid underwater, but I can't just go lay my eggs in the pond or in the ocean because they'll get washed away. So the males are responsible for and do, and again, for like the idea of being responsible for, it's not this burden that they see. This is their reproductive strategy that has allowed them to survive throughout time and evolve. And the ones that had the strategies that worked the best survived and passed those strategy genes, those the genetic information of how my body works to their offspring. So here is an example. Here is this picture with this red arrow. Here's what the burrow looks like. And so on the surface, you'll see they actually gulp the sand and spit it out, and gulp the sand and spit it out. And there's tons of really cool videos on this. And they will dig down, 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 down. This horizontal part of the chamber is actually where the eggs are going to be laid. This pouchy part is not going to fill with water. So what happens in the water under here is it gets really stagnant and it's not very oxygenated. So the male mud skipper has to gulp air, bring it down, and aerate this chamber, and then the air stays at the top of this bubble. So the first step is the males are going to build the burrow, and they're going to build it within their territory. And male mud skippers are really territorial. So this picture here shows you he's got his dorsal fins really spread up and he's got these beautiful colors, and he will leap off the mud flat surface and be like, y'all better back off. This is my territory. I am protecting my territory. The picture below here, you can see how they actually open their mouths really wide, like, oh, and I'm like looking at each other, and you better back off. And this is my burrow that I'm building. So the males are doing that. Females just lounging and eating, right? So he's going to fiercely defend his territory by showing his fins and opening his mouth. He's really building this burrow to further his species. That biological drive of increasing your population. So that purpose of life to make more life is very common with plants, bacteria, fungi, animals, protozoa. When the chamber is ready, when he feels like, all right, y'all, I'm ready for a mate, he stands outside the burrow and he does some mating rituals, which I will show you in a minute. He'll move around, open his mouth, flip his body, and he's like, hey girls, you want to come down to my chamber with me because we need to mate and reproduce. So the female gets to kind of walk around and be like, I don't know about that. And then goes, okay, so show me some more flips, show me some more things. And if she's interested, she'll follow him into the chamber. And then here's where things get vague. And the reason why things get vague is no one's really studied this. I started looking at articles online. People don't really know, which I find awesome. Does that mean one of you can go to college and be a ichthyologist, person who studies fish, and your PhD research could be on mudskipper reproduction? If that happens, y'all better take your dissertation and be like, this dissertation is for Miss Yuma, who inspired me to study mudskipper reproduction. We don't fully understand. There is mudskippers in captivity, and you know from my previous slides, there's few genuses, genera, and tons of species. And so we don't really know if the male and female actually mate. Now, fish don't have penises and vaginas. Fish have these things called cloacas, and cloacas are basically just openings on the bottom of the body. And in that opening, waste will come out, as well as eggs and sperm. And birds have this too. Birds have one opening, like a chicken, one opening. That opening is called a cloaca. And in that opening, all the waste that body needs to get rid of, liquid, solid, as well as reproduction, happens in that one opening. Sometimes organisms will put their openings close together and try to keep it close together to ensure that fertilization actually happened. It takes a lot of energy to make eggs. It takes energy to make sperm. And so you don't want these are called gametes, these particular kind of cells. You don't want your gametes to get wasted. And you want to ensure, remember, the purpose is life. You want to ensure as many as those of eggs get fertilized as possible. Males in most species, if we're talking organisms that have gametes, usually make way more sperm than eggs are made. And that way, hopefully, all of that sperm will fertilize some of those eggs. So we really don't know. Because some fish, like Nemo, clownfish, Nemo's mom, the female, would have swam around, and at the bottom near some reeds and some grass, she would have deposited her eggs. She hasn't touched a male. The male hasn't touched her. There's no internal connection at all. She lays her eggs, and then the male clownfish will be like, oh, I see some eggs on there. I'm going to go squirt some sperm on them. Now, there might be a little bit of a mating ritual, and that's how you get the hormones going to make eggs and sperm in the first place. But that's called external fertilization. Many fish species have external fertilization, where the female would follow the male into the chamber, And she would lay her eggs in this perfect egg chamber that the male has made. Hopefully his mating display ensured that he made a high quality egg chamber. That's what she's looking for, right? Like she really wants to pick a male that has the best mating displays, because if her babies inherit that, they're more likely to have more babies. So she gets down into this egg chamber part here, and we don't know. Does she deposit her eggs and then the male squirts his sperm on them? Now they're fertilized? Or do they have some sort of connection physically that there is internal fertilization? The eggs get fertilized inside her body and then she lays them out. We don't know. And I love that we don't know. And I love that there's something here that I can tell you that it's scientists, 2020, we've landed people on the moon and we're going to Mars. And we don't know how mud skippers mate. We don't know how they fertilize their eggs. I love this. And so I had to be careful because I went to a bunch of different websites and there was a lot of conflicting evidence, or at least claims. Let me take that back. There was a lot of conflicting claims. And when I dug a little deeper, I realized that some of these claims didn't really have evidence to back it up. And then I found a source of a paper, a scientific paper, that said, we don't know, we're not sure, which I love. This is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen True Facts. I went ahead and cropped this video and muted because True Facts videos are hands down amazing, but they're borderline inappropriate for me to show you. There is a little bit of swearing, and then some of the things are like, maybe he shouldn't have said that. It's kind of like the Little Dicky video, where it's so good, and I wish I could show you, but there's a few things that you're like, I don't think so. So with this video, yes, it still got muted, thankfully. Let's see if it loads here. You can tell I've skipped. These two mud skippers are displaying behavior of territory. Get away from me. This is my burrow. I'm going to fight you, or at least pretend to fight you. Here is the picture of, oh, let me back up just a tiny bit here. Here is the picture of the female following the male into his burrow. So it all happened fast. Look at that mud flat. I like this picture of the mud flat too, where I've got, little teeny shallow pools of water. It's really mucky and muddy, and that male is going to go to the chamber. So this is kind of interesting because you would think like, oh, we're going to go into the chamber, but we don't really have good evidence and data on the chambers. And so this is a scientific drawing of the chamber, where they've just like outlined the drawing. You can watch this again because it's so cool. So that drawing shows us that so the burrow is up here. The other cool thing about the burrow is he can come down here and there's like a way that water can get in. So the eggs do need to be submerged in water. They need to be wet. And because of that, there needs to be that flow, and then there needs to be this air pocket. So you'll notice this is a drawing because we don't really know more. And then this is a video that somebody took where you can see the mud skipper's eggs in that chamber. And there you can see some things moving around. And then, of course, the babies are hatched. That's how little we know, you guys. That's how little we know. Today, I challenge you to, number one, enjoy yourself and have fun doing research. Research is the most fun part. Really look at your animal or your plant or your fungi or your bacteria or your protozoa with a new eye. There's one of you doing paramecium. Paramecium reproduction's awesome. So if you can find a video, fantastic. Please post that video. And if you can't, it's okay. But get as much information as you can to share. And I will see you soon. Bye.